Oh, look who's back this week. Crixus, and he's picking up right where he left off. Okay. Alright. They don't want to see your butt, Crixus. Alright. Well, some of them may do, but I want to know who you are. Alright. It is time for our Week 9 NFL pick review and Week 10 predictions. Alright. The election's over. Barack won. Linda McMahon lost, and Crixus's tail is clean in the camera lens. Alright, we'll just watch this video in Crixus vision. Alright, I told you guys last week that I thought that this last week's predictions were some of the simplest, and sure enough, I went 11-3. The games just panned out pretty much the way I thought they would go. And even the ones that didn't were very close, including one that went overtime that we'll be going over here in a second. Before I get in this video, I want to address some people that have come out about my hatred for the Minnesota Vikings. And some people ask me, like, why do you hate on the Vikings? Seems like you hate on the Vikings. And I gotta tell you, yes, I absolutely, as an NFL fan, hate the Minnesota Vikings. And when people ask me who I hate the most, and I know hate's just like, a general term, who do I dislike the most in the NFL, it goes the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, and the Minnesota Vikings. And most people are stunned here, like why do you hate the Vikings? They're not even in your division. You hate them more than the Redskins, a fellow division foe. The answer is simple. Oh, Crixus, you're going to go to bed during this? All right. The Minnesota Vikings are a team that I consider responsible for the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl run. Now, how that is, you might ask? A little something called the Herschel Walker trade. For those of you who don't know what the Herschel Walker trade is, it's something that's literally called the Great Train Robbery. It's where the Dallas Cowboys had this running back called Herschel Walker, and the Minnesota Vikings, for whatever reason, thought that would be the final puzzle piece to get them to win a NFL championship, a Super Bowl championship, so they gave them such a plethora of draft picks and talent that it just stacked Dallas for the entire next decade. Now you may ask, who did Dallas get from this trade? The very first pick the Dallas Cowboys took from one of the picks that Minnesota gave them was Emmitt Smith. How did he work out for Dallas? Oh, who else did Dallas get? I don't know, some guy, some defensive player called, Darren Woodson. How'd he work out? Who else did Dallas get? Oh, they worked the deals out, and then they got Russell Maryland, an all-pro offensive lineman. Holy shit. These are all guys, just these three guys alone, and they got more. They got multiple first, second, and third round picks from Minnesota for one aged running back. And yes, there's other players tied up there, just minimal players in there. I know there's a few details I'm leaving out. But the bottom line is that the Dallas Cowboys got so stacked from this that it's no wonder they won NFL championships. And it also kind of just makes Jerry Jones look kind of foolish, because Jerry Jones has never done anything past this time that he got this winning lottery ticket. And you gotta wonder, can Jerry Jones assemble draft talent on his own? Because Jimmy Johnson pretty much called the shots and got total control of this team for personnel. He picked to run the team and pick the team in the draft and all this other shit. And now Jerry Jones wants to take over that role. What the fuck has he done since? Nothing. Anyway, that is why I hate the Vikings. I hate them because they made Dallas a champion, pretty much. Anyways. So, last week, Week 9, we started off the week with the game that I usually always get wrong. I've only picked Thursday night games right 2 times. We had the San Diego Superchargers playing the Kansas City Chiefs, which are the second most abysmal team in the NFL. Funny enough, the most abysmal team played in Monday Night Football, but we'll get to that in a second. San Diego bounced back from that horrific 6-point performance the week before, and holy shit. Hi, Crixus! Hi, Crixus! Oh, Bella, save me! Save me, Bella! Oh, no! Oh, save me! Oh, no, the evil Crixus puppy is eating me alive! Alright, anyways, that's it. Alright. He doesn't like, whatever the name of the guy vampire is in Twilight. Anyway,
Edward?
Edward, thank you, Girlfiend. Girlfiend watches all the Twilight films. She's a huge fan.
Yeah, I'd rather puke.
All right. She's into puking too, if you know what I mean. What do I mean by that? Anyway, the Chargers beat the Chiefs 31-13. No surprise there. Philip Rivers bounces back with a decent performance over his horrific performance the week before against the Brownies. Next Sunday we have the Denver Super Broncos. They're just the Broncos. Beating the Cincinnati Bengals. Solid game for the Bengals. Solid game. Denver was starting to run away with this game, and Andy Dalton and the boys came back in this game. It was a solid performance. Again, Cincinnati is going to be that team that they really look promising for the future. And, when I call them the Bungles and everything like that, I mean, I'm kind of just joshing their fans a bit, but that is a team with promise. Unlike my team, that has pretty much no promise. Anyway, thank you for that interception of the camera there, Crixus.
No.
Baltimore beating the Cleveland Brownies 25-15. No surprise there. Again, Baltimore is the dominant team in this division, though.
No.
Looks like the Steelers might be giving them a run for their money, but we'll find out about that in a few seconds here. Green Bay beating the Arizona Cardinals 31-17. Oh, wasn't it a nice run while it lasted, Arizona? You got so excited when your team won a couple games in a row to start the season, and now you haven't won a game since. Boy, those Arizona Cardinal fans, shut up. Just very post-hastily. All right, Chicago 51, Tennessee 20. Chicago, I wouldn't be go so far to say that they are hands down one of the elite teams. They're on the precipice of being one of those elite teams, and this is a solid performance to show that. If they didn't look so weak the week before against the Carolina Panthers, they pretty much squandered a victory, or almost squandered a victory in the end of that game. The Bears put up 51 points, and how they're doing it. What are you doing to Crixus in the background here, Girlfiend? Anyway, I'm being very distracted by Girlfiend and Crixus doing naughty things. It involves a lot of nakedness and syrup, and I don't even want to go into details.
Excuse me.
Anyway, how Chicago is scoring on both defense and offense is something to be reckoned with. It just shows you that a lot of quarterbacks out there are going to have to, not take chances against the Bears, because they're a team that can pick you off at any given play. Anyways, Chicago's doing good, on the cusp of being one of the best teams in the league. But anyway, Crixus is having a tug of war with Edward, and Edward just got thrown at me. All right, next up, Indianapolis over Miami, the first game that I picked wrong this week. It was in overtime, 23-20. Miami just choked in the fourth quarter. Miami had every opportunity to win this game, and they just choked. Though, Miami fans, it is nice to see your team playing competitive ball like this, and Indianapolis fans, you got nothing to be ashamed of with this team. They're 5-3. My God, that's a considerable step over last season. Next up we got, and I know Crixus is just going to stick his nose right in the camera. Second game I got wrong this week. Carolina beating Washington 21-13. 21-13. Washington, my God, you're again the laughing stock of the NFC East, or are you this year? There's another team trying to take that title from you, and I'm ashamed to admit who it is. Yeah, RG3 just, he seemed to be the playmaker to get everything done, but these past 2 weeks, no, Pittsburgh whooped you pretty good, and now the Carolina Panthers did the same. Moving on, Detroit beating Jacksonville 31-14. And it looks like Detroit is turning their season around. And when did they turn their season around? When they had that epic fourth quarter comeback against the Eagles and then won in overtime. Fuck. You're welcome, Detroit. Houston beating Buffalo 21-9. yeah, this is a game pretty much Houston had control of from beginning to end. This score could have been a lot higher. Again, Houston just plays conservative in the fourth quarter once they get a solid lead established. And my pick for the most impressive, surprising team of the league this year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating Oakland 42-32. Now this team is giving up quite a few points, and like giving up 32 points to Oakland is, proof of that. But this team is just scoring. Like Freeman and Martin are just playing so well. Granted, neither one is like the best in the league, and I'm not about to say Freeman's going to be like this big 10-time All-Pro quarterback and all this other shit, but you can't really knock them for what they're playing and what their expectations were, as low as they were at the beginning of the season. So good for you, Bucks, and all your 10 fans. I'm sorry, I had to throw that in. Pittsburgh beats the New York Giants in New York 24-20. Oh, New York. It's supposed to be the game where you're going to rally the area, after Sandy came through and tore the place apart. Isn't that right, Crixus? What? Jeez, that was a delayed response. My God. I've seen snails crawl a mile faster than that. Anyway, jeez. Ben Roethlisberger, okay, yeah. And Pittsburgh, I really feel Pittsburgh really isn't getting the credit that they're due. Like, all the talk after this game was all the letdowns in New York and how Eli didn't come through in the fourth quarter, all this, but it's like, why is no one really saying, like, what the solid veterans for Pittsburgh were doing? And I hate both of these teams, but my God, give credit where credit was due. And I know it's like a big letdown for the New Jersey area and every area that got wrecked by Sandy, and everyone was like, oh, the Giants are going to win and, motivate the area and all this other stuff, but whatever. Anyway, next. We have Atlanta playing Dallas the week after Atlanta whooped that Philadelphia Eagle ass. Atlanta wins 19-13. Now, this is so fitting that that Dallas and Philadelphia play next week, because you get a good gauge of where both teams are at, because Philly just played Atlanta last week. Dallas just played the week before, and Dallas just played Atlanta last week. And Atlanta thoroughly whoops Philadelphia, and Dallas makes a competitive game out of it. Now, both Dallas and Philadelphia have 3 wins, but Dallas is significantly better than what their record is. I mean, you're looking at a team that on primetime football lost 19-13 against an undefeated team. It's a 3-win team losing by 6 points. And Dallas has games that they should have won the week before, where you lose a game basically because your receiver's pinky digit goes out of the end zone, and it's just, I know. I feel you, Dallas fans. It's a frustrating season, but my God, at least your team is playing competitive football, and we'll get to the predictions for next week in a second. Anyway, finishing off, the final pick that I got right, 11 wins. 3 losses for me this week. Finishing off the week with Monday Night Football. New Orleans 28. The Philadelphia Eagles 13. Ladies and gentlemen, the New Orleans Saints have the worst defense in the NFL. I think before this they were giving up an average of, it was like 30 or 34 points a game, and the Eagles managed to get 13 on them. The Eagles, and this is going to be the rant portion. I was actually going to make a dedicated video to this, but I feel it wasn't that much of a blowout to just blow every alarm up. But the Philadelphia Eagles had 5 trips to the end zone, got 2 field goals for their effort. Michael Vick throws a pick 6 at the 1-yard line, and not taking anything away from the Saints, because my God, did they take advantage of every opportunity. When you get an interception at your own end zone, at the 1-yard line I should say, and take it to your own end zone, holy shit. That's called taking advantage of an opportunity, and that's what the Saints did. I know a lot of people want to say, well, the Philadelphia Eagles have this terrible offensive line, including Michael Vick's brother that tweeted during the game that he wants to see his brother traded because his offensive line is so terrible. How the fuck does Philadelphia get 440 yards of total offense? How does that happen? If they're having so much trouble, excuse me, I'm getting choked up. If they're having so much trouble with this offensive line, how are they getting over 400 yards of offense? Is the offensive line really the problem? Is that what we want to keep blaming here in Philadelphia? Great teams get 440 yards of offense in a game. Crixus, what is wrong? Crixus, come here. Show everyone what's happening. Come here. Edward from Twilight is attacking Crixus. Look at this. It's trying to bite him. It's trying to suck his blood. Anyway. 5 trips to the red zone. What's to be ashamed in that? How is a terrible offensive line sitting in front of an offense that's advancing down the field? Stop blaming this offensive line. Yes, I know they got a ton of injuries. Yes, I know they'd be playing a lot better if they had their starters, like Kelsey and Peters and whoever else. You can put all pro offensive linemen in there. But Jesus Christ, stop blaming the O-line in Philadelphia. The problem is Andy Reid. The problem is Michael Vick. The problem is firing a defensive coordinator that, in all honesty, really wasn't that bad. And now, the past 2 games, the defense has done worse. So, I was tweeting before this game on Monday that I was like, woo! Oh my God, the Redskins lost to the Carolina Panthers. The Redskins are back to being the joke of the NFC East. No, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. And this, going back to the previous game I reviewed, the Dallas Cowboys, you have Philadelphia and Dallas, both with 3 wins. Philadelphia has 3 wins. They don't even deserve to be wins. They should have lost to Cleveland. They should have lost to the Ravens. It's ridiculous. They should have lost to the Giants. My God, I don't even take any pride in those victories this season. Dallas is a team that should have 4 or 5 wins right now. Crixus is shunned. Anyway, your buys last week: St. Louis, New England, New York, Jets, and San Francisco. I don't even know what to expect next week between Dallas and Philadelphia. All right, let's go to the predictions anyway. What? Edward, save me! Save me, Edward! Get Crixus off of me! Okay. All right. Crixus gets excited when I do the predictions, as you guys do as well. All right. Indianapolis at Jacksonville. Wow, what a great game for Thursday Night Football. What a fantastic game. Crixus is excited too. Oh my God. We get to see the Jacksonville Jaguars on primetime television. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm getting dog fur in my mouth. That's what I'm choking on. Indianapolis is winning this game. I might actually go 3 wins in a row on Thursday Night Football picks. That would be it. What do you want? Edward, save me! Edward, save me! Yeah. Okay. New York Giants at Cincinnati. Eli is looking like that Eli that I hated the year before last. I really didn't fully respect Eli till he went on that playoff run last year, won 4 games on the road, including the Super Bowl, if you count that, and winning a Super Bowl and get a 2nd Super Bowl MVP. But now Eli, the past 2 weeks, he's looked like that, ooh, is this that guy that can still come back in the 4th quarters and still, make, 50+% of his passes when it needs to? But it's looked kind of shaky, but I can't see Eli having that 3rd bad game in a row here. I see the Giants winning in Cincinnati, though. This is going to be a coin flip game. Tennessee at Miami. I just see Miami playing better football than Tennessee right now. Tennessee just got absolutely thumped by the Bears last week. Miami is really coming into their own, and they're playing at home. So look for Miami to win that one. Detroit at Minnesota. I hate the Vikings, as you guys very well may know. And actually, did I say that?
Minnesota score from the previous week? I don't remember talking about Minnesota. Did they have a bye? No, they didn't. They they lost to Seattle. How did I skip that game? Anyways, yeah, Seattle, I got that game right. Winning in Seattle, 30-20 over the Vikings. I don't know why I skipped that game. Anyway, I don't remember saying it. If I didn't skip it, then whatever. Anyway, Detroit at Minnesota. I'm sorry, Minnesota. It was a nice little impressive run. And again, I know I've said I hate you because of the goddamn Herschel Walker trade that you gave all your picks over to the Cowboys for. But anyway, Detroit's going to whoop that ass in Minnesota. Buffalo at New England. Who are we kidding? New England. What else can you say about that? Atlanta at New Orleans. This is the game at the beginning of the season where I was like, oh, I can see this is the game where New Orleans is going to take over the division. But now it's like, in New Orleans, I don't see them playing competitive against Atlanta. Oh, I see this being a complete rout, in all honesty, because Atlanta's past that point of like, oh, should we be nervous that we won 5-6 games? Now they've well exceeded that. Now they're just out to just fucking dominate and just look for them to do that. Anyway, Atlanta's going to win in New Orleans. San Diego at Tampa Bay. I'm a believer in the Bucs right now. And San Diego, I mean, it's definitely the better quarterback on San Diego as far as Rivers versus Freeman is concerned. But I look for the Bucs to win at home in this one, and in a pretty convincing fashion, because San Diego's been just kind of flip or flop this year. Denver at Carolina. Cam Newton, enjoy that one-game winning streak. Well, you can't really call it a streak, it's just one game. Denver's going to come into Carolina and whoop that ass. Oakland going into Baltimore. Who are we kidding? Baltimore's going to win that game. New York Jets at Seattle. Seattle plays so tough at home, and the Jets, they just suck. So Seattle's winning that one. Dallas at Philadelphia. I know Philadelphia's had it pretty rough, and like I said, Dallas deserves to have a record that's way better than the 3 wins that they got right now, and Philadelphia has 3 wins as well. But I see this as a week where Philadelphia really gets their shit together. Andy Reid is sticking with Vic, and everything's going to wake up. Deshaun's going to have a great game. Macklin's going to have a great game, and everything's just going to fall into place. If you can't tell, I'm totally bullshitting. There's no fucking way the Eagles are winning this game. Dallas is winning. And guess what? If Dallas wins in any way, shape, or form, Andy Reid is fucking fired. Mark my words. Fired! This is what it's come to. I'm picking the Cowboys to win in Philadelphia. St. Louis at San Francisco. San Francisco, without a shadow of a doubt. And quite possibly the game of the year. Sunday Night Football. Houston at Chicago. This was the one game that I just could not decide who was going to win this game. I know that Chicago's playing at home, and I know Houston. Houston got beat up pretty bad this year. I forgot who they lost to. Well, the Jets almost beat them on Monday Night Football, and this is another primetime game. The Packers. They whooped that Houston ass. I see Houston going into Soldier Field and coming out with a victory. I think Chicago is going to hit a bit of a little speed bump here. They're going to flatline, and they're going to look a little weak, but Chicago will bounce back even if they do stammer in this game. Kansas City at Pittsburgh to end the week for Monday Night Football. Kansas City's going to win this game. I'm going to say Pittsburgh is going to win this game by 27 points. 27 points. I'll pick like an obscure amount, like, it should be like 28 because that's more of a football score. Because they're going to score in a fluke way a time or two. Like they're going to get like 3 safeties or some shit like that, or a missed extra point. It's that. Anyway, just watch Crixus' tail for the end of this video. So that wraps up our Week 9 review, our Week 10 picks. I went 11-3 last week, and now we know why I hate the Minnesota Vikings. So thank you, everyone. Congratulations again to Barack Obama and the Democratic Party and everyone, and screw you, Linda McMahon, for losing. And just one final thing I want to say about the Linda McMahon campaign and the fact that she's lost Vince McMahon $100 million in the past 2 elections. you gotta wonder how the wrestlers feel in the company. You gotta wonder how the wrestlers feel that, you know, they just pissed away $100 million where, you know, they could have donated that money to charity, given it to the wrestlers that basically have built the empire of the WWE. You know, just something to think about in the final words here. So everyone, have a fantastic day, and let's go Cowboys. That's right. I want to see the Cowboys win. Because I want to see fucking regime change in Philadelphia. And if it takes the Dallas Cowboys coming in Philadelphia to do it, then I'm all for it. Crixus, let's rock and roll.